It is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue my discussion on the various lands, legends, planes, and planeswalkers of Magic the Gathering, where I take each of these aspects of the lore of the worlds of Magic the Gathering. I give you information about it, history, details, characteristics that make you understand a little bit about not only this piece of lore, but the entire essence of the worlds of Magic the Gathering, the worlds of this card game that they are building. So today for you, I have another land, Shiv. Now, Shiv is an island on Dominaria. It's in fact at the end of all the continental chains, where all the continents go together. To the northeast of them is where Shiv is part of this. Shiv itself is one of the most inhospitable places in all of Dominaria. It is the massive, most powerful source of red magic on the entire plane. But this also means it's a volcanic mess. It is not only in a very deep ocean, but it is surrounded by a ring of fire, a ring of volcanoes that make the very oceans around Shiv effectively boil. They burn and scald, making it very difficult to travel there by boat or anything like that. There are some that have found a way to it. In particular, the Viashino have learned ways to navigate these waters. Much to the chagrin of the other native Shivans, if there's a way in, other people can probably get in. They're not as safe. But the Viashino are only one of the races which makes Shiv its home. Goblins live there, and there's a race of humans, the Gitu. They are a group of nomads which live upon Shiv. Of course, I cannot forget the most iconic of them all, the Shivan dragons. Now, when we talk about the history of Shiv, we have to look back to its earliest time, during the time of the Thrans. The Dracovin Empire may not have been located on a continent particularly near to Shiv, but one of their most largest bases of operation was actually placed upon Shiv. They had a powerful mage ring there, which manufactured power stones for Thran. When Thran fall, so did the mage ring low. But that doesn't mean it still doesn't exist. The structure itself survived, and has survived since then. The main workers that were on it, the goblin slaves, they maintained that area. They eventually forgot how to operate the machinery, but one thing they did remember is that machinery is great, and those that had put them to work on it. So they began to worship the machine as if it was some kind of god. Now, things maintained this status quo for many generations. That was until on Dominaria, on the island Academy, with Urza, still researching ways to defeat Phyrexia, saw a piece of Thran metal on a small necklace around Joyra's neck. Joyra, the Gitu, a student at the Academy. So, with that, he learned of what was in Dominaria, and he traveled there. He managed to secure the mage ring. He made a deal with the dragon that was looking over it. He then convinced the Viashino that were living in that area and the goblins in that area to work together to once again bring the machine to life. And that is where a major source of the power stones he used for his not only the legacy but other materials that he would be using to defeat Phyrexians later on came from. Now, when the invasion did actually occur, Joyra decided that she was going to use the mage ring itself as a weapon to fight against the Phyrexians. But Teferi had already chosen to flee. He was ready to go. So Teferi grabbed Joyra. He also then phased out not only his home country of Zalfir, but a major portion of Shiv itself, including a large piece of the mage ring and Joyra. This meant that the remainder of the island was left to its own devices in a way, but not in a good shape anymore. It is also important to note that during this time, the primeval dragon Daragaz woke up, or as it is also known, Ramani Daragaz, remembering its past life, waking up to what it had been, and then awakening the other primeval dragons, which caused great problems not only for Phyrexians, but for the Alliance itself, for those on the side fighting against them. They were a force to be reckoned with against everyone. It wasn't until many years later that Teferi and the remaining part of Shiv returned. Up until now, Shiv, what was left, suffered. The Phyrexian invasion was one thing, but then the mana depletion as we're part of Corona and everything that had gone on continued to harm it. Now, the island itself was rebuilt, reborn, but the cost of everything dealing with this and the time rifts eventually cost Teferi his planeswalking spark. But Shiv was reborn at this point in time. Reborn in a way. And two better things once the time cliffs have closed? That is to be seen. But that's it for today. So I introduce you to an interesting land on Dominaria. Shiv. Home to the Shivan dragons. Home to fire and red mana. A place of chaos that has been through a lot. The Thrans, Urza, the Phyrexian invasion, and even the rifts and the mana depletion itself. They have survived and continued to burn. But if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I support the channel, the empire, the work I do. If you want to show some extra support, you can always check out my Patreon. Link in the description below. There's some great rewards there. Helps to grow and improve the channel and the empire. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.